Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Straight Line Podcast. My name is Jeremy Maartens, and today I'll discuss with you guys two topics, Junior World Track Champs and Eastside Crits. Now, for those of you who are not too involved in the track cycling world in South Africa, Junior World Track Champs is taking place end of this weekend in Cali in Colombia. And we have three participants: Rhys Burrell from the Eastern Cape, Jose Kleinsmith from the Joburg Brits area, and Ethan Coulson from Paarl in the Western Cape. Now, Rhys Burrell, he's been involved in track cycling, I'd say, probably about 2 years. Well, that's what I've noticed of his name. He seems to me like he's a bit of a goer, not scared to get stuck in. He won the points race at SA Track Champs this year. From what I understand, his qualifying times to make for eligibility for selection for the national team for Junior World Champs, he was right up there. Boys definitely got a motor on him. He's a first year junior, so I hope he can go there this year, cut his teeth, so to say, see what it's all about, get motivated and go back next year and deliver a big performance. Ethan Coulson, no stranger to track cycling at the highest level. Recently at the Junior Commonwealth Games, which was held in Trinidad and Tobago a week or two ago, he ended up running second in the scratch race, which is his preferred event. Ended up coming second to an Australian rider, and from what I understand, that rider is going through to World Champs, also in Cali. Then next up, Jose Kleinsmith. Last year I think he ran, it was 12th individual pursuit. So this year he's hoping to go quite a few places higher than that. He spent quite a lot of time this year in Holland preparing for Junior World Track Champs. We wish him all the best, hoping that he can deliver on a good performance for Team South Africa. Next up, point of discussion, Eastside Crits. Now, that happened yesterday in Lawson Industrial Park in Johannesburg, and if you were in the Gauteng area yesterday, you'll be happy to note, or I was happy to note, that it was a great day. 12 was the minimum, 25 was the maximum. Very little wind to talk about. Perfect day up here in Johannesburg. It was a good day for racing. We had some good numbers coming to the race. I think that the interest is growing. People are starting to understand what this type of racing is and understand the benefits of it. In this ladies category, we had 15 ladies starting, C category 21 riders, B category 29 riders, and in your A category 63 riders. Now, I think that's fantastic. 63 riders in your A category, those are predominantly your elites, under 23s, your top level juniors. Man, that's pretty cool. Right, let's talk about the races. The B category, that's predominantly for your more experienced bike riders. I'm not going to use the word veterans because these guys don't ride like veterans. The race was super quick, very aggressive. I was standing at the finish line, and every time the guys came past, you could see that the pressure really was on. Well, the race was in a straight line. The guys really laid it out. Going into the last lap, on the back straight up the climb, 4 riders managed to slip away: Peter Avenant, Massimo Guglielmi, Alex Pavlov, and Danny Vernacchio. Danny, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct. Just over the top of the drag, they got away. Then as they turned left on the downhill drag towards the finish, Peter Avenant just rolled off the front. Sounds like there was a bit of a hesitation with the other 3 riders. He said to me, he rolled off, he looked back, he had a 20-meter gap, and then from there, he committed 100% for the win, and he held on. I think he ended up winning by 20 or 30 meters. Alex Pavlov rolling Massimo Guglielmi in the sprint, and Daniel keeping the bunch off and finishing 4th. On a funny note, I spoke to Massimo after the race, and he said, he was laying it out a little bit too much. But it's good to see. Glad the guys are buying into this and seeing the value in this type of racing. The ladies category, 15 riders on the start line. Still a little bit low. I would like to see a little bit more ladies getting involved in the racing. Again, I'm extending this invite out to all of the top level elite ladies. Master Ladies. Yes, Master Ladies, there is a section for you to race. It is a safe, controlled and measured environment. No cars. It's not like you're going to be starting a bunch and then after 40 Ks you buy yourself out in the middle of nowhere. It's a lap race, 3.2 Ks. It's a perfect race to practice your intensity, perfect place to practice your race skill, perfect place to get your race speed up. Again, I extend my invite out to all the ladies. Then let's get on to the details of the race. Cycle Nation came through the race and they clearly had a plan. They went in, they dominated the race. I mean, when I saw on lap 1, Carla Oberholzer, she already had the 200 meter gap, or probably a little bit less on the remainder of the group. Lisa and Lo went across to her. And between those two, they picked up all the points along the way. They ended up winning. I think the final point score, Carla had 15 points. Lisa and Lo ended up on 14 points. So well done to them. Then while those two ladies were out in the front, there was another small group behind them, which had Lucy Young and Lisa Bonet. Lisa, I hope I'm pronounce your surname correct. But yeah, Lisa had the edge on Lucy and she took up the points and they rounded up the podium for Cycle Nation. Just on a side note here, with the format of this race, with it being points 3-2-1, 3-2-1, 3-2-1, and then at the end triple points 9, 6 and 3, Lucy Young was in a bit of a situation in her Cycle Nation sandwich, if you want to call it that. But I think she could have improved on this, and I did speak to her about it afterwards, that she should have tried to sneak a point or not sneak a point, take a point somewhere along the line from Lisa, and that in the final sprint, knowing that there's 3 points on the line, Lucy, if she played the cards right, she could have rolled Lisa and maybe given herself a better chance to stand up onto the podium. But yeah, we live and learn. Hopefully next time riders in that position can keep that in mind. It ain't over till it's over. Okay. Next category, the men's, or the A category, your elite men, your under 23 and your juniors. 60 riders on the start line. The average speed for the race is 47. Now 47 k an hour average on a 3.2 k circuit with 48 meters of elevation per lap. And I speak under correction, but I think 8 turns, 2 of which are hard, the 90-degree left-hand turns. That's by no means a slow race. The guys weren't sitting around waiting. Good job. With the conditions and the format of the race, wasn't really conducive for Breakaway to get away. So every time the guys did try, I saw Brandon Downs tried a few times, Jason Eggert going with him. The last time those two guys races, the race finish was different, finished up a climb. The wind was blowing quite a bit that day, whereas this time was a bigger group. No wind to speak of, so it was easier for the group to keep in contact. So yeah, almost every sprint or every points sprint came down to a group sprint. And on the day, Gustav Basson had the legs. He ended up winning the last sprint, so securing himself the 9 points. He also got a second and a third in the intermediate sprints, so that pretty much secured the win for him. And then second place was Honeycomb's Jaden Tullow. He won the first sprint, and I think he got a third somewhere else along the way, then ended up running second in the last sprint. So that pushed him up to second overall. And then Eric Cross, he did something very similar to what he did on the last sprint, on the last event. During the intermediate sprints, he racked up 1 or 2 here and there. And then in the last sprint, where the big points are, he ended up running third on that sprint, and that secured him third overall. So yeah, I touched on it just now. The race is never over till it's over. With the treble points at the end, it's a perfect opportunity for any rider to grab a few points along the way and then lay it all out for the last sprint. There was many cool things about yesterday, but for me personally, I think probably one of the coolest things was having Brandon Lawson live streaming on the back of the motorbike. So I mean, we can all get a feel and see what's going on in the race. You guys laid it out. It was an aggressive race. Everybody had a go at the front. It wasn't like a case of anyone sitting back and waiting for the sprint. It was race on. Thanks to Brendan and Team DMS for bringing that to us. That was really, really cool. Now, something I want to start touching on going forward is just to bring awareness to South Africans in the World Tour of Cycling. We have riders in World Tour of Cycling. We have team managers at the World Tour of Cycling. We have soigneurs and we have mechanics. I don't think a lot of South African, your general South African cyclist knows that we have guys in the top tiers of world cycling. So my first person that I'm going to bring up, and on each podcast I'd like to introduce a rider or make a person aware of what is going on. First up, Jaak-Johan Steyn. Now Jaak-Johan Steyn is the chief mechanic, or one of the chief mechanics at EF Education, the World Tour team. So he travels a lot, works hard. He's been to the Tour de France, the Giro d'Italia, the Vuelta, and all the big one-day races. He's heads up the mechanic staff. Yeah, so South African in the mix at the World Tour level, which I think is very cool. Next person I'm going to talk about in the next podcast, he is one of the Team DS's at Team Jaco Alula. Yeah, so wait for the next podcast so I can let you guys know who that is. So please, I'm trying to create awareness on this podcast. I'm trying to bring a lot more awareness to South African road and track cycling. Please like and subscribe in the links below to help get this YouTube channel up and going. Yeah, until the next one. Thanks very much, guys. Cheers. See you later.